Ah, autumn. The air is crisp, the leaves are falling, and love is in the air. Especially between fictional boys. This Fujoshi Fall, join Stitch and me as we dive into the season's sweetest indulgences, from delicious recipes and cozy crafts to BL book recommendations where the spice isn't just limited to pumpkin lattes. We'll be sure to find something you'll like in this Fujoshi Fall. Right off the bat, I thought we'd start with a recipe. Yanli soup is not only a plot-driving force in the epic Danmei romance Morazusha, but it is also a certified replacement for family therapy. But be forewarned, this recipe will make a frightening amount of soup. Don't bother fractioning down the ingredients. Simply embrace the soup. Become one with the soup. We actually got this recipe from an incredible Yanli cosplayer at KomoriCon a couple years ago, so you know it's legit. You will need 12 cups of water, 2.5 pounds of pork rib on the bone, a handful of ginger, 2 pounds of lotus root, and salt to taste. You can also use dried goji berries, 1 packet of ginger honey crystals, and green onions for garnish. While you're waiting for the water to boil, peel and slice your ginger and lotus root. The lotus slices should be about 1/4 inch wide. Cut pork ribs into bite-sized pieces and drop them into the boiling water to blanch it, just like Wei Wuxian was dropped into the burial mounds. Add your ginger and lotus root, plus a heaping tablespoon of salt. Then you can add the goji berries and ginger honey crystals. Once the soup is back to boiling, reduce the heat and let it simmer for at least 4 hours. Add sliced green onions before serving and enjoy your soup for days.
It's so good.
The bold warmth from the ginger combined with the savory pork is so comforting. I can only hope that Lamwanji could get to experience this soup with Wei Wuxian one day. Now that our tummies are full, what could be better than cozying up with a good BL manga to fit the season?
I've got a few recommendations with supernatural romances and deep yearning that will help get you into the autumnal spirit. For Xian, an elite student in the technologically sophisticated city number 6, life is carefully choreographed. School, study, and the occasional visit with his friend and classmate Safu. One fateful day, however, he takes a misstep, sheltering an injured boy his age from a typhoon. Known only as Rat, this boy is a VC, a fugitive living outside the computerized tapestry of city control. And helping him will throw Xian's life into chaos and start him down a path to discovering the appalling secrets behind the superficial perfection of number 6. The number 6 fandom celebrates Xian's birthday every September, so autumn is the perfect time to revisit this classic. This year is extra special because the sequel novel series number 6 Reunion was published in Japan, which has reawakened Nezushi shippers in full force. Night after night, Elva steps forth into the Black Sea, sword in hand, to drive back the creatures that surge from the waves. Elva is one of the Kanagi, warrior priests chosen by the divine to protect the island. With his snow-white hair, unaging youth, and black-stained limbs, proof of the corruption that gradually takes the life of every Kanagi, the local people fear and shun him. At least until his path crosses with that of a boy named Alto. Enraptured by Elva's strength and lonely soul, Alto swears to serve him and free him from his cursed fate. After 8 long years, Alto has grown into a capable and fearless young man, unwavering in his devotion to the Kanagi. Elva has long ago resigned himself to an early death, but somehow Alto's presence seems to be gradually healing him of the Black Sea's corruption. Lullaby of the Dawn is an incredible fantasy story with gorgeous art, and it's one of my favorite ongoing manga series. It has an intriguing plot with surprising twists and a full cast of compelling characters. We get to see the beautiful and sweet relationship between Alto and Elva grow and change over time as they continue to face challenges even after it becomes an established romance. While not particularly autumnal in itself, the themes of loneliness, self-sacrifice, and seeking acceptance are deeply comforting in a way you might find atmospheric in this season. Tsubaki Cotton is a monster, a violent delinquent with a chilling past and a terrifying image to match. No other student dares to approach him, not even now that he's transferred to a new high school. His anti-heroic acts of selflessness end only in bloodshed and rumors that spiral out of control. But one night, he's followed home by a stranger who sets out to change his life for good. This boy, stubborn and hauntingly beautiful, is the pure-hearted Kabuto Yuki, with his stunning, jewel-like eyes that see past Tsubaki's fearsome charade. But although someone finally sees Tsubaki for who he truly is, Kabuto cannot be seen at all. After all, Kabuto is a ghost. This is the debut manga of author Hime Miko, and the first volume will be out this October. It is rated M primarily for violence, which is in complete contrast to the wholesome relationship between Tsubaki and Kabuto. It's a story about being understood and accepted for who you are, and I love the deep yearning that comes with not being able to physically touch the one you love. Studious Yuki Hasegawa found himself pursued by the unbearably popular Jean-Michel and embroiled in a potentially deadly search for a monster hiding among the students of Blanc College boarding school. When Jean accidentally bites Yuki after their school dance, Yuki is forced to come to terms with the idea that vampires are real and Blanc College is full of them. When Jean explains the cruel power of a human's love, Yuki wonders if the only way to keep vampires from feeling that cursed urge to drink blood is for humans not to love them. Will Yuki be able to stop his budding feelings for Jean now that he knows what fate awaits them? Vampires aren't just for Halloween, but what better time of year than to seek out vampire BL? And I have to say, this manga exceeded my expectations considering that vampire romance is such a well-established genre. It spins a refreshing twist on its vampire characters and has an intriguing emotional plot that feels very well developed, especially for being only 2 volumes long. Human and vampire sexuality is central to the plot, so it is very not safe for work, but it's not graphic either. Once upon a time, in the not-too-distant past, a holy maiden was summoned. Not just any holy maiden, one hailing from modern Japan. But this story is not her story. This is the tale of the humble accountant Kondo, who accompanied her and his trials and woes as he accounts in a new world. But no tale is complete without a love interest. And who better to play that role than the handsome knight Captain Eresh? Will he begin a personal quest to save said bean counter who toils round the clock? Or is Kondo doomed to be married to his work evermore? I may not have judged this book by its cover, but I did judge it by its nonsensical title, and I regret how long it took me to actually give this series a try. I devoured it immediately. Both Eresh and Kondo are so pretty to look at, which is reason enough to read this manga, but my personal favorite trope is a strong, overprotective, and caring love interest. So I was thriving on the impeccable romantic tension between them. I could not believe how well developed and interesting the plot was. Kondo's deep flaw of overworking himself is also his personal strength in enacting surprising changes on a huge scale. You may find his character particularly relatable or comforting if you are a back-to-school student or teacher in fall. And best of all, there's supposed to be an anime version coming out in January, so it's the perfect time to become a new fan of this series.
And speaking of anime, here are a couple that we think you'll enjoy. There's nothing better when the wind is a little blustery to cozy up and watch some seasonal anime. The first one that always comes to mind for me is number 6. Stitch talked about the manga a bit earlier, but the anime is also worth consuming in the autumn time. The soundtrack has this perfect melancholic melody that is lonely and hopeful at the same time, and the journey that Shion and Nezumi go through is heartbreaking and tragic, but also heroic and just full of so much change. Both characters experience a tremendous arc of their own on their perspectives of life and their relationship together. It's a dystopian hellscape, yet they're able to find warmth in small, meaningful moments, while also manning a revolution. I think you'll definitely fall in love with Nezumi and Shion as you watch them fall in love with each other. Now, to totally switch gears, my next 2 recommendations are much lighter. The fall makes me super nostalgic for going to school, so I definitely recommend trying out any BLs set in a school setting like Dokyosei, Sasaki to Miyano, and Given. And the next one is particularly interesting to me because I went to film school. Twilight Out of Focus is another great BL school set romance. It has multiple queer couples in it, and you only focus on a couple for a few episodes before it moves on to the next one. It's very realistic, as everyone in my film school was also super gay. Definitely an easier watch with some very juicy scenes. And also, Stitch wanted me to add one more recommendation. The Betrayal Knows My Name. I didn't know anything about this show, but the outfits alone made me want to watch it. This one is technically not BL, but there is a deep soulmate relationship between Yuki and Z that is one of Stitch's favorites. Additionally, it portrays a variety of complex relationships and delves into the dark side of human emotions while telling a story about the triumph of good over evil. Yuki is strong both emotionally and physically, while burdened by his deep empathy and a lifetime of loneliness. The anime starts out with a dark and moody atmosphere that is perfect for a spooky night. It has lots of dark paranormal elements about demons preying on negative human emotions, but we wouldn't say that it's in the horror genre. It's very easy to enjoy just for the romantic subtext. Now, would it really be a Kick-Stitch video without a Danmei book club?
Okay, so here are our Danmei book recommendations for the fall. First up, we have a new release, Copper Coins, that I just started reading, so I haven't finished reviewing it yet, but so far it really reminds me of Modao Zushi. It's got a very spooky atmosphere, it's all about investigating ghosts, and there is the kind of dynamic of someone who's a little bit bratty versus someone who's very stoic, so I do think that enjoyers of Modao Zushi will really resonate with this one, and it's just perfect for the Halloween vibes. Next up, kind of similar, but with a more modern element, it's about a government department that investigates ghosts and spirits, and the guy in charge of the department has a lot of swagger about him. It's very nonchalant, very bratty as well. And he knows all about the underworld, right? And the Grim Reapers that are involved with collecting ghosts and spirits, and there is one in particular called the Soul Executing Emissary, who may be a handsome man by day, but is like the scariest guy in the underworld by night. So very good romance with a little supernatural element and also a soulmate connection that spans thousands of years. So what's not to love there? And then of course, would be remiss not to mention Thousand Autumns, not only for the title, but because of its very autumnal yearning sort of atmosphere that it brings. And I really wanted to read the introduction to this from the author because it is just really beautiful and encapsulates what kind of story it is. Thousand Autumns is the unfolding of one such story. The two leads have extreme personalities that are diametric opposites. One finds joy in helping people while the other resolutely believes that human nature is evil. But because both of them are incredibly strong, they cannot convince each other. And so when they meet, they're destined to clash in a blaze of intense sparks. To my dear readers, I'm grateful that we had the chance to meet. I'm grateful that you flipped open the story to enter the Jianghu of ancient China, to witness the chivalry and bloodshed within, as well as the story of a man who fell from the summit down to the lowest point of his life, who climbed out of that chasm step by step through his own efforts back to the pinnacle of the world as a martial grandmaster of incredible strength. This is very much a story to read if you love the protagonist who is the type of person who is very pure of heart but hasn't really struggled, and this is the story of how he does reach a low point and how he has to suffer and really see how his values change and are able to adapt to like the suffering of the real world as a very solemn, atmospheric angst that I think fits autumn beautifully.
That is pure whiskey. It would be remiss, as my beautiful fiance Stitch put, to not talk about Heaven Official's blessing in fall. I saw a tweet the other day and it was someone saying, "It is finally Hualien season." The colors of fall, the beautiful red and maple leaves just resonate with Hualien so deeply. And the best part is, depending on how far you get in the book, it quickly turns into a horror story that perfectly fits Halloween as well. The first meeting between Sanlang and Shelian on the ox cart is just such a perfect encapsulation of the autumn weather and the atmosphere of a meeting a new love, and the young blossoming romance between Hualien just suits the air so perfectly. Because the imagery is so strong, I would also recommend checking out the Donghua if you haven't already, or if you're on your 30th rewatch like me, sometimes just putting on the dub in the background, especially around episode 4 where it gets really good, is fun while you're doing other fall crafts, such as
custom eat-a-bag inserts. When you get an eat-a-bag, most people just go straight to pinning and hanging things directly into the bag, but this is just a very thin piece of fabric. Once you poke holes into it, it can wear out pretty quickly, and that might be fine if you have like a limited number of pins and keychains that you want to stick with, but if you have like a huge collection or you want to grow your collection, great to make separate inserts so that you can easily switch out what you're wearing depending on the fandom you want to represent that day. And I use on the back plastic cross-stitch fabric. It's called Ida. It comes in plastic sheets at the craft store, because if you are using enamel pins, you can just poke them right through and secure them very easily. You can choose custom fabric, anything in like the quilting cotton section. They have lots of patterns. They even have some fandom ones if you like Disney or Marvel, things like that, but you can just pick fabrics that are associated with your favorite characters, your favorite ships. This one is a blue to pink ombre that I chose because of the Stammy outfits in Yuri on Ice, and I added black felt with just a little bit of hot glue to make kind of the V-shaped design in their outfits, and it's so super easy to add little string lights. Just have a little battery pack like this. You can also sew on additional chains so that you can hang keychains directly onto it. And this is just one style of Ito backpack that you could easily get online. They're fairly affordable and they're great to have for conventions. They're great for just going out and about and showing off your fandom pride. Another excellent Fujoshi craft for this fall is cross-stitching. It is so easy to get into if you haven't tried, or if you are familiar with cross-stitching and you haven't considered its BL purposes, I'm here to let you know that there are tons of patterns that you can use for your favorite BL ships. Anything that is remotely pixel art can be used to ship. I got these Yuri on Ice cross-stitch patterns on Etsy, and these were sold as like Yuri and Victor separately, but obviously I'm going to combine them. I'm going to match up like their Stammy outfits, like the coach and the skating outfits together so that they are little matching duos. And this is so easy to do with relatively inexpensive materials. You just need a little cross-stitching hoop, embroidery floss, and cross-stitching fabric. And plus, these are often very easily available at thrift stores, so if you want to save a few extra dollars as well, again, very affordable. I even made one of these into a little beef leaf decoration. And this was a pattern I modified to make the characters more exactly how I imagined them. You can either leave the cross stitch in the hoops and decorate with that, or you can take the fabric out of the hoops and you can turn them into just little charms. These can go in Ita bags, you can hang them on the wall, you can use them as Christmas tree ornaments later in the season. Anything you want. You know what you must do. It is entirely possible to make even pumpkin carving a BL related activity. If you are Fujo pilled enough, anything is possible, even carving your BL yaoi boys into pumpkin form, or just using markers and coloring them on. Because I'll be honest, I'm not that adept when it comes to pumpkin carving. But sometimes there's Halloween art, whether it's fan art or official art for your favorite series, and you can find some surprising inspiration from Halloween official art for your favorite series. I made a Keyfree inspired pumpkin from the official art for Witch Hat Atelier. I did not make his gourd boyfriend, but maybe this year I will. So go forth, carve or color your pumpkins, and let yaoi be your guiding light. To quote the ancient texts, do you wear wigs? When will you wear wigs? And I'm here to tell you that you should start wearing wigs in October. If you cosplay only at home or at conventions, or if you haven't cosplayed at all, October 1st through 31st is your free pass to cosplay in public. I highly encourage it. Get out of the house, go outside and cosplay in the autumn leaves, at a pumpkin patch. You will not find anyone raising their eyebrows at you. Just say you're going to a costume party. Make your yaoi dreams come true in real life through the power of cosplay. This is the perfect way to get comfortable doing so if you've always wanted to but been scared that someone will make comments. Truly, these days cosplay is so socially acceptable. Almost everybody knows what it is, even grandparents. So I would say don't worry about it year round, but if you are a little bit nervous, now is the perfect time to do so.
For our last section, we'd like to talk about decorating. This can include seasonal decorations or decorating with some of your favorite fan art and merch. I love a subtle personal touch. Are these seasonal decorations, or do they remind me of my favorite characters? My family will never know that this mushroom decor reminds me of BL. As great as purchasing stuff online can be at Kictor.com, use code FALL10 for a discount, I would 1000% recommend going thrifting. You'll never be sure what you'll find and what might remind you of your favorite BL boys. And sometimes the best way to celebrate a season is just by enjoying yourself, taking a day out to go read in a park, or bring your mini dolls and do a little photo shoot. Draw your favorite Blorbos wrestling in the leaves, or write a fanfic about them getting lost in a corn maze, or imagine their meet cute in a cozy bookstore as they reach for the same volume. As the days get darker and colder, the season can start to feel a little lonely, but you'll always have a community here on this channel if you love talking about BL. We hope some of these recommendations can help your Fujoshi fall feel full. Wow. Alliteration. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave comments down below for any other recommendations. We would love to fill our calendars with more ideas and make it a community effort. This is such a niche topic and a niche community, but if you find yourself in this community and you'd like more of it, you can consider checking out my YouTube membership. Every Friday at 7 p.m. PST, we do Danmei game night. If you don't know, Danmei is BL that is from China, and there's so many books and animations that are just absolutely incredible. It's a fantastic fantastic community to get a part of, and every Friday at 7 p.m. we do game nights where we play games like Gartic Phone or Frantic Fanfic, and all of the characters are very BL Danmei focused. It's a fantastic community. It's a safe space for queer people and allies just to hang out. We talk about our days, we talk about shipping our favorite characters, and it's a great way to help support our channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! What's in your Danmei book club bag? Half a pound of ribs! That's so funny. There's more. They're standees. Wei Wuxian is with Lan Chi-chan and Jung Chung is with Lam Wenji. We found Xiao at Value Village.
It's official. Brand new